following program is rated MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, you know that. I know it. And the rumors of my death are, overly exaggerated. Anyways, how are you doing on this fantastic Friday? Yes, today is March the 3rd of 2023, day 62 of the year, and only 303 days left to go. Anyways, we are broadcasting live from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM, and then we are hanging out with our friends and colleagues at that other place.
Radio. USA, Canada, UK.
Yes, hanging out at Radio Big, Canada, all the other wacky places that we hang and bang at. There is no doubt about that, as we are doing all the fun stuff that we get to do. Anyway, so how have you been for the last little bit? Because I feel like it's been forever. Well, maybe it hasn't been forever, but it's been a long time since you and I got to hang out. It's just kind of the way that it goes sometimes. And I apologize. I apologize. And it's been such a long time that it's only been like 23 hours. I know. I get into these weird places of things that I take a look at and go, has it been long? Has it not been long? I never know. Anyways, a lot of stuff going on the day today. So let's start talking immediately about the things that are trending inside of the multiverse, because what else are we going to do besides talk about stuff, right? Take a listen.
Here is what was trending. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so talking about the trends of the ends, there is no doubt that there was some stuff that was trending because what else would be happening if things weren't trending? I have no idea. Anyways, with that being said, so taking it from the top, vitamin D may help prevent dementia. So we'll talk about that if you care to know. Also, what else do we have going on? Let's see. The government, again, spends like a drunken sailor, but I think that that's kind of a common thing that we already knew that was going to be kind of the case of the things that happen around here. No doubt about that, so don't worry. What else? Jay Leno debuts his new face this week, and we can talk about that because of what occurred with him. And Madonna is bringing back her iconic bra. I didn't realize that you had something that was so iconic that you got to bring back. And aren't like all bras iconic? Because don't you get to reuse them to some extent? I mean, just something to think about. I don't know. So anyways, a lot of stuff going on today, as we will be talking, as we will be hanging, as we will be doing all the funzo-unzo stuff. It is Freeform Friday, so don't worry about that. We will be doing everything and nothing all at the same time. Yes, it is a possibility of doing those things. So Freeform Friday means we'll talk about a little bit about anything. If you want to interact with the show, callinradio.com. That's the easiest way to do that. That will be the video, that will be the audio, that will be anything that you want to do in regards of interaction. If you put anything inside of the box or oxer, I normally don't pay a lot of attention there, so I apologize ahead of time. And then we can talk about everything else that's going on inside of the world. What do you think? Sounds like a plan? I think it sounds like a plan. I think we have a plan. So with that plan being in place, let's talk about safety in the news, because that's what our show is about. We talk about safety. We talk about the news. Freeform Friday, it goes everywhere, anywhere, and whatever we want to do. So it'll be interesting to see what happens today. So let's get you back into the news right now.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
NBC News Radio, I'm Michael Kastner. Residents of East Palestine, Ohio are letting officials know they're tired of hearing how good the air quality is, and they want immediate help getting away from the contaminated area.
This is not something we asked for, sir. I'm begging you, by the grace of God, please get our people out of gas.
Local residents shared their experiences, hardships, and fears in the aftermath of last month's hazardous waste train derailment during a town meeting Thursday night. Those in attendance asked questions of agents from the EPA, FEMA, and CDC. Ohio Congressman Bill Johnson addressed the crowd, but he didn't remain for questions. Norfolk Southern was represented by a junior official who was frequently heckled. Many in attendance shouted, "Where's Alan?" as Norfolk Southern CEO Alan Shaw was not present. A jury has found Alex Murdaugh guilty of the double murder of his wife and son. Lead prosecutor Creighton Waters says the verdict shows murder will not be tolerated in South Carolina, regardless of who you are.
Justice was done today. It doesn't matter who your family is. It doesn't matter how much money you have or people think you have. It doesn't matter what you think, how prominent you are. If you do wrong, if you break the law, if you murder, then justice will be done in South Carolina.
The once wealthy, high-profile South Carolina lawyer was also convicted of 2 counts of possession of a weapon during a violent crime. The prosecution claimed Murdaugh was about to be exposed for stealing millions from his clients and committed the murders to gain sympathy. He will be sentenced this morning. He faces 30 years to life in prison without parole for the murders. 2 men are accused of shooting and killing a bald eagle. Nebraska authorities say the men plan to cook and eat the protected national bird. Stock futures are on the climb this morning. Michael Kastner, NBC News Radio.
Listen at your own risk. Rated R Safety Show.
The Federal Reserve was forced to cancel a virtual event with Fed Governor Christopher Waller on Thursday after a participant hijacked it with a porn bomb. A reporter who was on the Zoom call said a few minutes before the event was scheduled to begin, someone using the screen name Dan started displaying pornographic images. The Mid-Size Bank Coalition hosted the event, and the group's director said he suspects one of the security switches that mutes those watching was set incorrectly. If you go out for a hike with a friend, the National Park Service has a warning for your friend. Bree Tennis has more.
A real warning from the National Park Service. If you encounter a bear, never push a slower friend down. NPS says feeding another human to a bear is not the answer. They say assess the situation, pick up all food and small children, and try to keep movement slow and sideways. If that doesn't work, they say be as tall as possible and make a whole lot of noise. But do know bears can run as fast as a racehorse, uphill and down, so don't run.
Cops are on alert as spring breakers descend on Fort Lauderdale and Miami Beach. Mayor Dan Gelber says they're trying to combat the chaotic parties with beefed-up police presence and alternate programming.
Carnival, the Kiwanis of Little Havana, is going to be having their festival on Ocean Drive in the middle of the month. We've got the Aspen Institute is coming next week for their climate festival. There's all sorts of wellness and concerts and things like that.
The city manager is also ready to make an emergency declaration for a curfew if necessary. Closing time will remain at 5 a.m., and the city will not enforce its 2 a.m. last call ordinance in the south of 5th neighborhood until at least March 14th, when a judge hears arguments. Nicki Minaj has released a new single.
Only on them seas if it's breeze. Red Ruby to Sleeze, Chinese on my...
Red Ruby to Sleeze is her first solo single since Super Freaky Girl hit #1 last year. Michael Kastner, NBC News Radio.
This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Let's start using cutting-edge warp-speed 5G technology with your cell phone. Let me tell you about my friends at mobilemobile.io. They have an ultra-fast 4G LTE and 5G network that covers 99% of Americans. So they've got you covered everywhere. Think about it for a moment. You have the opportunity to take a test drive for 10 days with unlimited talk, text, and premium data. What is premium data? Premium data is an allotment of a cellular data that you receive from a higher priority on the network. You won't get throttled like you will with some of those, well, non-brand service providers. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to mobilemobile.io. That's mobilemobile.io to start your 10-day free trial.
Hello. To some people, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much. But that's not necessarily true. By 6 months, they're combining vowels and consonants. By 9 months, they're trying out different kinds of sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on some meaning. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Early screening and intervention can make a lifetime of difference and unlock a world of possibilities. Take the first step at autismspeaks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
The following is made possible by Dad.
Why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling all over it.
The dad joke. Corny, grown-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
Why do you have to be careful when it's raining cats and dogs? Because you might step in a poodle.
And kids that spend more time with their dads grow up to be smarter, more successful.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding.
And with any luck, funnier adults.
Why didn't the skeleton go to the dance? Because he didn't have anybody to go with.
Dad jokes rule. So take a moment to make a moment and give your kid a laugh. It's as easy as going to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
That's really funny.
It's a new year, but it's feeling harder than ever to find and hire qualified people you need, especially for small businesses. That's where LinkedIn Job comes in. They make it easier to find people you want to talk to faster and for free. You can create a free job post in minutes on LinkedIn Jobs to reach your network and beyond to the world's largest professional network of over 770 million people. Focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience and use screening questions to get your role in front of the most qualified people. Then use the simple tools on LinkedIn Jobs to quickly filter and prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. It's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs number one in delivering qualified hires versus leading competitors. I have to tell you that we have used LinkedIn Jobs to even find some of the people that we have here at Safety FM. LinkedIn Jobs can help you find the candidates you want to talk to faster. Did you know that every week nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn? Post your jobs for free on linkedin.com/safetyfm. That's linkedin.com/safetyfm to post your job for free. Terms and conditions do apply. And don't forget to tell them that you heard it right here on Safety FM.
Radio Big. USA, Canada, UK.
Okay, there you go. Let's see. It's currently 14 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out on this fantastic Friday. So yes, I already have people telling me that it looks like Radio Big is not actually doing my voice. It's apparently showing something else. So apologize about that, but we will get that rectified at some point. That's kind of what it goes to. So there you go. Some stuff there. We'll figure it out and see what exactly is going on. So let's start talking immediately about what the hell is going on inside of the world of the news. Take a listen to this. A new study suggests that taking vitamin D supplements plays a role in preventing dementia. In the sample of more than 12,000 participants aged 71 or older, people who took vitamin D supplements saw a top line of 40% reduction in dementia diagnosis. Overall, those who had no vitamin D exposure represented 75% of dementia diagnosis. So there you go again. There is another study talking about what is going on with percentages. And you go, what the hell do the percentages mean? And I go, that is an excellent question. What do the percentages mean? Because I don't think they mean anything to you. And I sure as shit believe that they don't mean anything to me is the way that they come across. But I guess that's kind of the way that the equation goes from time to time. Anyways, take a listen to this. A 40-year-old Pennsylvania man tried to get a suitcase with explosives through airport security this week. The explosive device was immediately spotted by security personnel after they checked his bag at the counter. Officials Page, the suspect who had been spotted leaving the airport on security camera footage, law enforcement eventually tracked him down at his home where he was arrested. The suspect was reportedly admitted to planting an explosive device. No motive has been yet established. Worth noting, you chalk this one up to stupidity. The suspect's lawyer says the device was improvised firework. The suspect also admitted that to daily use of marijuana and recent use of meth. Oh, okay. The issue that we're running into, my friends, is that I have a drug problem. So that is the reason why I decided that I thought it was a good idea to have some kind of explosive device of what's going on. So there you go. Anyways, parole board turned down Sharon's request to be released late Wednesday. The 78-year-old man who shot Robert F. Kennedy in 1968 was previously approved for release, but remained behind bars after orders of California Governor Gavin Newsom. No word yet on what changed the parole board's mind between now and the last time that they sought a release. Meanwhile, it appeals that Newsom's rejection remains under consideration by the Los Angeles County Court. Saran's lawyer isn't sure on how this parole rejection will influence the decision. She believes that the parole board was pressured by Newsom, so there you go. You know how it is. There's nothing better than a good falsy on what people believe is going on without knowing for sure. 100%. Yeah, I'm sorry if you see me looking at my phone, just trying to figure out something about the radio station there. Sorry about that. Anyways, archaeologists have discovered a new, previously undiscovered passage in the Great Pyramid of Giza. They found a small 30-foot tunnel. Okay, an undiscovered passage, a small 30-foot tunnel using infrared scans. It might not lead anywhere, but it could also help unearth all kinds of mysteries. The 2017 relived there for two giant stretches of empty space. Don't get that. Called voids within the Great Pyramid walls. This could also still not be sure that it might be behind there. So it is not known on how they will be able to get to it without destroying the wall. Well, let's start off with let's not destroy the wall. Maybe that's a good idea to go with. Anyways, while some food companies are trying to hide bugs in their recipes, or you might get a chocolate-covered bug as a novelty, one of German ice cream parlors is going all in with cricket-flavored ice cream. Yep, you can get a scoop of the bizarre delicacy completely with dried brown crickets on top. The shop owner says that it is past that he made liver sausage and gorgonzola cheese-flavored ice cream. So there you go. I don't know. I have to tell you, crickets are not that terrible, especially if you've ever hung around and did the cricket protein stuff. Seriously, it's not a joke as I'm saying that. Anyways, not a lot of stuff that I could see this weekend for what was coming up in the streaming services. I had new to Hulu was Triangle Sadness, which sounds very uplifting, and then new to Netflix was Love at First Kiss. Well, how'd you get to the kiss aspect? Maybe that's the question to ask. I mean, I don't know. A lot of stuff there. Anyways, with that being said, let's get moving and grooving real quick. Let's bring some John Smalls inside of here and let him tell you about what the hell is going on with the market beat. Maybe we should have him tell you what the hell's going on.
Here's your Market Beat Minute for Friday, March 3rd, 2023. Brought to you by GenesisGoldIRA.com. The market heaved a sigh of relief after Fed President Raphael Bostic said the committee could probably stick with quarter-point interest rate hikes. The news is contrary to a renewed belief the Fed could increase the pace to 50 basis points per meeting, but investors should not be too optimistic. The news does not suggest that inflation has been tamed or the Fed is anywhere near through with raising rates. Regardless of the Fed's next move, the outlook for S&P 500 earnings continues to decline, and that is a weight the market can't bear forever. Sooner or later, the market will give up all hope of earnings growth in 2023, and the market decline will start in earnest. At best, the S&P 500 is range-bound but headed toward the bottom of that range. The following week could be trying for the market with little to sustain the rebound regarding economic data or earnings report. You can get the inside track at MarketBeatMinute.com.
Okay, thank you, John Smalls, for the information there of what exactly is going on inside of the worldo. Because those things are important to know. There is no doubt about that. Anyways, let me tell you what I was able to find on my side. The Dow added about 341 points to close at 33,003. The S&P added 29 points to close at 3,981, and the NASDAQ added about 83 points to close at 11,462. West Texas Intermediate closed at $77 a barrel, and Brent crude was at $84 a barrel. The national average price of a gallon of gas was $3.37. Bitcoin slid on Thursday, losing about 0.91%, trading just around 23,410. There was about 2,788 flights delayed within, into, and out of the United States, and more than about 570 canceled flights altogether yesterday. Tonight's Mega Million drawing will be for a $167 million jackpot or a $84.5 million cash payout. So if you want to play the game, you have the opportunity to do so. There is no doubt about that. Anyway, so there you go. A lot of stuff going on inside of El Worldo of ours. What do I got here? Nope, that's not what I want to show you. Yep. Let's see. Do I want to show that one? Nope. I don't think that's that one anymore. I got so much stuff here. Here we go. Yeah, Safety FM or Safety Worlds Collide. Want to tell you that's still coming up. If you have not signed up for it, that will be taking place May the 9th and the 10th in Phoenix, Arizona. Yeah, Phoenix, Arizona. If you want to come out, hang out, and do all the fun stuff that we get to do over there, you are more than welcome to come hang out with us. It will be Brent Sutton, Sam Goodman, and yours truly doing an event there in Phoenix, Arizona. Would love to see you there. For more information about tickets, you can go to safetyfm.io. or you can go to safetyfm.com under the section that says live events. Yep, live events, live events, live events. Love to see you there. Yes, and for those who are coming out, hanging out next week, coming out to Santa Fe, New Mexico, hanging out and doing some stuff over there. We're really excited about that one, to tell you. I'm excited about the other one, too, so let me not throw that out. But, yeah, next week, yeah, that seemed relatively quick, so we'll be doing some stuff out of Santa Fe. I'm still trying to figure out how we're going to broadcast this thing. So we'll figure it out some way, shape, or form, because I was looking and I was like, okay, so that means the show there would be at 5 o'clock in the morning, their time. So we'll figure something out with that mess. Anyways, take a listen to this real quick. The parents of the Long Island native Gabby Petito are filing an amended lawsuit arguing the police in Utah did not follow proper protocols before her death. Take a listen to what Scott Pringle has to say.
Well, an officer spoke with Gabby Petito and her boyfriend, Brian Laundrie, during an alleged domestic dispute back in the summer of 2021. Court documents now show that the officer said Laundrie was a weird, not healthy dude and that he had red flags and influence over Petito's mentality. The officer justified not taking further action by saying there's no law against taking advantage of people mentally and emotionally. The $50 million wrongful death lawsuit that was amended does not seek anything additional. Scott Pringle, NBC News Radio, New York.
Oh, it's okay because there is no law against it. I mean, who the hell says that? Like, that was your default answer? There's no law against that stuff, so, it's okay. Yeah, don't know who was the genius behind that one, because when you start thinking about it, you go, that's just kind of an asshole kind of an answer when it's all said and done. Just throw it out there. Let's be realistic. If somebody gave you that kind of answer, you wouldn't be too happy about it either. Anyways, take a listen to this real quick. Construction of the Southern California to Las Vegas bullet train is expected to start this year. Daniel Martindale has more.
The company in charge of the project, Brightline, has signed a deal with a coalition of major labor unions, clearing the way for construction to start. The 218-mile rail line is expected to be finished by 2026 or 27. Trains will travel up to 200 miles per hour, starting in San Bernardino, with stops in the Victor Valley, Hesperia, Apple Valley, and Rancho Cucamonga. The trains will run on a fully electric, emission-free system. I'm Daniel Martindale.
Yeah, Cucamonga to you too, my friend. So there you go. Some stuff interesting right there. I will tell you, there is a train being built by Brightline not too far from where I am located that will take you from the Orlando airport all the way down to Miami. So it'll be interesting to see on how some of those things will kick in and how much quicker. When I think bullet train, I think pretty fast. So it'll be interesting to see on how quick these things are. Anyways, a stretch of 5 freeway in Fullerton, California is being dedicated to late great Tommy Lasorda from the Dodgers fame. Daniel Martindale has more.
From tomorrow on, the section of freeway will be known as the Tommy Lasorda Memorial Highway. The legendary manager and baseball ambassador lived in Fullerton from the time the Dodgers moved to Los Angeles in 1958 up until his death in 2021. The California legislature passed a bill designating the section of the 5 freeway in Lasorda's name in 2021. I'm Daniel Martindale.
Okay, thank you, Daniel Martindale, for that. Take a listen to this. Rescue and recovery efforts are underway for San Bernardino Mountains, where many communities have been buried in several feet of snow for about a week now.
California National Guard troops began arriving in the region on Thursday, less than a day after Governor Gavin Newsom declared a state of emergency for San Bernardino and Los Angeles counties. Hundreds of residents of Crestline, Lake Arrowhead, Running Springs, and other communities are still stranded and running low on food, water, medicine, fuel, and other essentials. The California Highway Patrol is still escorting a select number of vehicles at a time on Highway 18, which is closed. Crestline has also lost its only grocery store after its roof collapsed under the weight of the snow on Wednesday morning. I'm Daniel Martindale.
Oh, geez, that sounds like a total disaster in regards of what is going on over there. No doubt about that as we are talking. Take a listen to this. As the nation, we've been changing our clocks since 1918, a new bill that may end that. Take a listen to this.
November 6, 2018, Californians passed Prop 7 by 60%. That proposition was supposed to keep us on daylight saving time year-round, but Congress failed to pass it. But now the Sunshine Protection Act of 2023 is having another go. Senator Marco Rubio of Florida has filed a bill, and it has the Senate support. If it's approved by Congress, we will change our clocks to daylight saving time March 12th, and that's it. Bree Tennis, NBC News Radio.
So how do you think about that? I mean, when you hear something like that, are you excited about it? I know that here in Florida, they've actually voted on that previously, and nothing really was done when it was all said and done. Does that get you excited? Would you like to be in daylight savings time year-round? Would that be a better aspect? And I remember at one point, I was so worried about some of that stuff because I was like, if Florida ends up being a state that actually has its own time zone, will it essentially become Florida time? Because you know that's this comedy act waiting to happen once people start calling it that. Anyways, take a listen to this. New Jersey police are searching for at least 2 suspects in connection of a shooting at the New Jersey State Trooper in Patterson. Scott Pringle has more.
Police do have one person in custody. Authorities say the trooper is recovering in the hospital and in good spirits, according to Governor Phil Murphy. He took a bullet to the leg by East 28th Street and 9th Avenue around 1 in the morning Thursday. Now, Patterson's mayor says the wounded trooper had been on a joint detail with Patterson police at the time, but it's unclear what led up to the shooting. Channel 7 reports there were numerous unmarked police vehicles hit by gunfire. Scott Pringle, NBC News Radio, New Jersey.
So there you go. A lot of interesting stuff coming out of that. I mean, what the hell is going on inside of that world? Anyways, the MTA is making changes to the Long Island Railroad following many complaints tied to the Grand Central Madison full opening earlier this week. Scott Pringle reports.
John is one of many Long Island Railroad commuters who's had a rough week since the major changes went into effect Monday.
They actually changed my track 3 times, which results in people racing up and down escalators and stairs and overcrowding.
Head of LIRR, Kathy Rinaldi, says they're adding service to Brooklyn and looking to ease crowding on some trains.
I'm very confident it'll be better. We'll have more frequency on the shuttle. We'll have longer trains. The busiest trains will be longer.
Rinaldi says they'll continue to monitor and make more adjustments if necessary. Scott Pringle, NBC News Radio, New York.
Okay, thank you, Scott Pringle, for that one. An 80-year-old Army veteran is suing the California Highway Patrol and Ventura County Sheriff's Office for excessive force. Daniel Martindale shares.
The man from Westlake Village says his arm was broken after he spent 2 hours in handcuffs following his arrest last March. The man was arrested after testing above the legal limit for alcohol. He says his arm started hurting right after being placed in handcuffs, and every law enforcement officer he encountered both on the road and in jail refused to loosen or remove them. The man says once the cuffs were finally removed, he had to ask 3 times to see a doctor and didn't get to see one for at least an hour, but that doctor refused to treat him, so he had to take himself to a hospital where x-rays revealed a broken arm. I'm Daniel Martindale.
Well, that's not a good stuff when you start thinking about all that mess. Broken arm into handcuffs. Not really what you want to hear at any point. Anyways, SpaceX is scheduled to continue a busy year of launches from North northwestern Santa Barbara County this morning. Daniel Martindale shares. Apparently, Daniel Martindale took care of all the news stories today.
A Falcon 9 rocket is scheduled to take off from Vandenberg Space Force Base at 10:38 a.m. The launch has been postponed several times in recent days due to rain, but clear skies are in the forecast for today. The payload is more Starlink internet satellites. I'm Daniel Martindale.
Okay, thank you, Daniel, for that one. Let me give you one more real quick. The Colombian government is moving a 70 hippopotamus owned by the late drug lord Pablo Escobar to zoos in Mexico and India. Mark Mayfield has more.
Escobar used his enormous cocaine fortune to set up a private zoo on his 7,000-acre estate, spending $2 million on a collection of nearly 2,000 wild and exotic animals from a zoo in Dallas. He later bought 4 hippos, and after his death, the animals roamed around northwestern Colombia and multiplied, threatening the environment and posing a danger to people. More than 80 hippos are still living in the region. I'm Mark Mayfield.
Okay, thank you, Mark Mayfield, for that information right there. Let's see, it is 32 minutes past the top of the hour. You know what I think it's time to do? I think it's time to get you some more and more and more news.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Julia Chapman. US President Joe Biden will welcome Germany's Chancellor Olaf Scholz to Washington on Friday for talks over the war in Ukraine. The leaders are expected to discuss the issue of providing further weaponry for Kyiv as Ukrainian forces prepare to try to reclaim more of their territory from Russia. From Berlin, Trent Murray reports.
Earlier this year, Chancellor Scholz agreed to provide the German-made Leopard 2 main battle tank to Ukraine only after Washington agreed on a deal to send American tanks later in the year. Biden and Scholz are also expected to discuss China, with Western intelligence suggesting Beijing may be on the cusp of providing weapons to Russia. Washington has already warned Beijing that such a move would have serious consequences. Trent Murray, Berlin.
Opposition candidates in Nigeria's presidential elections say they will take legal action as they contest the result over voting irregularities. Nigeria's Independent National Electoral Commission declared Bola Ahmed Tinubu the winner after receiving 8.7 million votes. Opposition candidate Atiku Abubakar scored 6.9 million votes in second place, while Peter Obi received 6.1 million of the votes cast to come a close third. Correspondent Ajek Mangut reports from Abuja.
Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi have both insisted they were the winners of the keenly contested election. Atiku Abubakar said the Electoral Act of 2022 and the use of technology to accredit, authenticate voters and also transmit results would have guaranteed his victory. But he said the manipulation and fraud in the election was unprecedented in the history of Nigeria and robbed him of his win. For Peter Obi of the Labour Party, the election was a clear deviation from the electoral rules and guidelines. He said the electoral body INEC did not meet the minimum criteria of a free, transparent, credible and fair election. But INEC says it made adequate arrangements to ensure that the election was free, fair and credible. The president-elect Bola Tinubu has set up committees to reconcile with the aggrieved candidates, but both candidates say they will explore legal means to reclaim their mandate. Ajek Mangut, Abuja.
More than 100 people have been evacuated from their homes in central Hong Kong as a huge fire ripped through a skyscraper construction site in the middle of the night. Richard Kimber sent this report from the scene.
The upper floors caught fire in the middle of the night Thursday and flames spread onto neighbouring buildings, causing additional smaller blazes. Fire crews evacuated 130 people from nearby buildings and then battled the fire for 9 hours to bring it under control. 2 people were injured and are receiving treatment in hospital. Richard Kimber in Hong Kong.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks, looking in more detail today at TikTok. The Chinese-owned app has been in the news for several reasons this week. It's being banned from US federal government phones over espionage fears. The Chinese are furious about that. And the company itself is trying to impose a 60-minute limit on how long teenagers can use the app in a single 24-hour period. Chris Stokel-Walker is a tech journalist and the author of the book TikTok Boom.
Zoom.
They wanted to be seen as the responsible, proper authorities that were trying to tamp down kind of the addictive nature of social media. I think, however, this is probably a little bit more for show than anything else, not least because any parent or grandparent of any child will know that they can very easily get around these things. And as TikTok has implemented this feature, it is simply a case of you put in a passcode to actually bypass it. And I don't think that confronting children with the reality of the situation that they've spent a long time on a social media app is going to make them suddenly recoil and go, you know what, these things of darkness I abjure and I don't want to use or anything like that. I think that this is going to be just them saying, okay, fine, I've spent 60 minutes on it, let me spend another 60 minutes, so what?
TikTok's move is a reflection of growing legislative attention being paid to the app in several world capitals. The Indians have already completely banned it. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
To recap the top stories, US President Joe Biden will welcome Germany's Chancellor Olaf Scholz to Washington on Friday for talks over Ukraine. Opposition candidates in Nigeria's presidential election say they will take legal action as they contest the results over voting irregularities. And more than 100 people have been evacuated from their homes in Hong Kong after a fire at a construction site overnight. That's the latest feature story news. Julia Chapman reporting.
It's this show, and they just make fun of a whole bunch of people. It's just too funny. It's too stupid.
Rated R Safety Show.
So do you feel like you're missing out on what everyone is starting to do now, that live streaming thing, and you don't know where to start or what to do? I have the resource and the information to provide to you in regards on how you can stream onto 40 social media platforms all at one time. Yes, that's 40 social media platforms all at one time. All you'll need to do is go to safetyfm.com/1. That's safetyfm.com/1. That's ONE. So just in case, and you'll be able to start live streaming just like you're hearing people starting to do right now, up to 40 social media platforms.
Right now, our country feels divided, but there's a place where people are coming together.
I gotta tell you, I was nervous to talk to someone so different than me.
Me too, but I'm glad we are.
Love Has No Labels and One Small Step are helping people with different political views, beliefs, and life experiences come together through conversation, and it feels good.
Wow, your story is so...
Interesting?
Yeah.
When people actually sit down, talk, and listen to one another, they can break down boundaries and connect as human beings. At lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep, you can listen to amazing, life-changing conversations and find simple tools to start a conversation of your own.
I know one thing. This conversation gives me hope.
It gives me a lot of hope, too.
Take a step toward bringing our country and your community together by having the courage to start a conversation at lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep. A message from StoryCorps, Love Has No Labels, and the Ad Council.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding. Whoa! Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back. Woohoo! Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie.
So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
As your safety feed old, stale, and hackney, safety fingers so pretty and warped version. How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Polzel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
Hey, are you tired of hanging around and talking about safety in a boring kind of format? Well, I got something for you. If you haven't hung out with us yet at safetyfm.com, I'm going to encourage you to do so. Yeah, if you come out to Safety FM, you can come hang out with all kinds of safety professionals. Some are safety professionals, some are just people that are talking about safety. But we want to do it in a format that makes it fun and entertaining. If you're kind of trying to figure out what the FM portion is, well, we're a radio station and also a podcast network. You can come out, hang out, listen to my show, The Jay Allen Show. You can listen to Todd Conklin with the pre-accident investigation, Blaine J. Hoffman with the Safety Pro, the Hop Nerd, Sam Goodman, just to name a few on what can be found on the station. Different things for different people, trying to bring safety in an entertaining form. SafetyFM.com. Go to the website, download the app, and carry it with you all day long. SafetyFM.com. We'll be waiting for you.
Tearing the ass out of you like gas station sushi. This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Still listening to the Rated R Safety Show. This is hour one of the Jay Allen in the Morning Show. Yes. This right here is called Fall by Lucha. Song's readily available on Spotify and iTunes, so you don't have to worry about that. A lot of stuff going on this morning as we are hanging, as we are doing our move, as we are doing our groove, and all that other kind of fun stuff there. No doubt about it. Anyways, thanks for Lucha for allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show. So anyways, you got anything cool planned for this weekend? Anything cool? Doing anything out of the ordinary? Anything that you are feeling a little braggalicious about? It happens. Those things do happen. No problem there. So good. Hopefully you have some big plans. You get to do some big things, some things that you are encouraged, excited to do. You know, all that fun stuff. Anyways, let's talk real quick about the most important thing that I will tell you at any point in my lifetime, and that's about my friends at the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. They can help you prevent suicide. The Lifeline provides 24/7 free and confidential support for people in distress, prevention, and crisis resources for you and or your loved ones, and best practices for professionals in the United States. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to 988lifeline.org. That's 988lifeline.org to find out more info, or you can text the word TALK to 988 or call 988, and that will get everything moving and grooving for you. Listen, I know at times life can be difficult, but these people can help you out in regards of what is going on inside of the world. No doubt about that, as we are hanging out and doing our thing together, that is for sure. So keep that in mind as we are talking. So a lot of stuff going on inside of our world today, and a lot of things to do, a lot of things to talk about, because we still have a little bit of time left in regards of what the hell is going on. So let's get into it, and let's start talking right away. By the way, a lot of people did not seem to like that I dropped some news stories during the ads yesterday. I thought it was a little bit different to do, but got some immediate response like, you didn't say anything before. Yeah, I know. I just played it. So sorry about some of the confusion. I guess it got people activated though. I was just like, oh, so this means I need to do this during the ads. So sorry about that. So let's talk real quick about some other things because I think it's going to be kind of important as we are talking. Do we want to talk about movies? Do we want to talk about those right now? We can. New to the box office this weekend. Creed 3. Adonis Creed has been thriving in both boxing career and a family life when his childhood friend and former boxing prodigy resurfaces after serving a long prison sentence. Adonis must put his future on the line against the fighter who has nothing to lose. So that comes out today. And Operation Fortune is in order to stop the deadly new weapon technology of upsetting the balance of power. M16 agent Orson Fortune recruits Hollywood's biggest movie star. So there you go. That's what's going on. No, seriously. That's what's going on. So let's talk about this because we probably should or probably shouldn't. So here we go. Okay, now it's all right to use the words rage farming, trauma dumping, hellscape, and petfluencer. Dictionary.com is adding 3 words plus 310 others to keep up with every ever-changing modern lexicon. The online language resource adds new words and definitions and rework definition 4 times per year to keep on how the English language is used in a modern context. For the record, rage farming is defined as intentionally provoking political opponents by posting inflammatory content on social media to elicit anger responses, thus widespread exposure for the original poster. Trauma dumping is to share intense traumatic information or emotions with others and unsolicited, while hellscape is a place for hopeless and irredeemable signs of the times. A petfluencer is someone who attracts a following by posting their pet. Also new to this time around is deadass. Yeah, deadass, which if you have teens, you know it means generally, sincerely, or truly. The US Dictionary.com is the Dictionary.com is starting to become the Urban Dictionary, is what it sounds like. And I just found the worst page in the entire dictionary when I saw disgraceful, disgusting, and dishonest, all on the same page. Sounds pretty disrespectful when it's all said and done. Anyways, let's take all the jokes aside. Let's go into the Motivation Minute right now. Let's bring some John Smalls inside of here.
The Motivation Minute is courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. Today's quote was submitted by Leah. Mark Wahlberg said, "God didn't come to save the saints. He came to save the sinners." Thanks for sending that, Leah. Mark Wahlberg. Think about the transformation he has gone through in the public's eye. We recently watched a movie he was in, Father Stu. What a powerful and amazing true story. My son actually asked me to watch it. It stars Mark Wahlberg and Mel Gibson and many others telling an amazing true story of the transformation that happened in a boxer turned priest who then suffered with ALS, but he made an amazing impact on those around him. If you're looking for an inspiring story, Father Stu might just be it. I love to see transformation in people. This has been today's Motivation Minute, courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. They're known for insurance quotes. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Your Wellness Minute is brought to you by alasamorgan.com. Today, let's have a quick chat about amino acids and what they can do for you. Simply put, amino acids are molecules that combine to form protein, and they become building blocks for your body. They promote muscle growth, connective tissue, and skin health. They help maintain muscle tone and tissue strength. They help to heal and repair. They help with digestion. They provide energy for your body, and they stimulate IGF, and deficiencies in IGF-1 can contribute to metabolic syndrome, which includes increased blood pressure, high blood sugar, excess body fat around the waist, and abnormal cholesterol or triglyceride levels. The foods that are high in amino acids include quinoa, eggs, fish, mushrooms, turkey, grass-fed beef, legumes and beans, and chicken. For more, check out alasamorgan.com.
Hello. I'm Richard Exley with your 1-minute devotion. Isaiah described Jesus as a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief. Yet Jesus was also a gregarious person whose name was at the top of every guest list. If he was present, the host need not worry. The party would be a success. His winsome smile and contagious laughter transcended all social barriers, turning a room full of strangers into friends. He was a captivating conversationalist, entertaining hearers with penetrating insights and humorous anecdotes. Yet, beneath his outgoing personality, his heart ached, always ached. Lord, help us become authentic human beings who share both the joy and the sorrow of others. Amen.
If these devotions are a blessing and an encouragement to you, you can subscribe at oneminutedevotion.com.
Another pitfall of our society. Rated R Safety Show.
Yeah, pitfalling and spitballing is what it sounds like. It's what we're doing around here as we are talking about everything that is going on inside of the world of news and entertainment. Anyways, take a listen to this real quick. A pair of New York City councilmen are sponsoring a bill for free childcare for every child up to 5 years old. Paul DeCastro has more.
Jennifer Gutierrez and Kevin Riley are introducing a bill that calls for free child care for all New York City kids aged 6 weeks to 5 years old. Gutierrez and Riley say they understand the struggle and they both have had trouble finding affordable child care for their kids. The proposed bill also aims to include access for undocumented children. There will be a public hearing for this bill in April. Paul DeCastro, NBC News Radio, New York.
Okay, thank you, Paul, for that information right there of what is going on. Take a listen to this real quick. The New York City Council is passing legislation regulating lithium-ion batteries that power e-bikes and scooters, which have caused a number of fires throughout the city.
Council members voted unanimously to ban the sale of unregulated lithium-ion batteries in an effort to prevent fires. They say more than 200 fires in New York City were connected to lithium-ion batteries in 2022 alone. Fires caused by the batteries have more than quadrupled in the city so far this year compared to last year. The bill now heads to Mayor Eric Adams for final approval before it's signed into law. Paul DeCastro, NBC News Radio, New York.
Okay, thank you, Paul DeCastro, for the info right there. Take a listen to this one. Henrico County in Virginia is promising to step up to make James River cleaner.
The county this week settled a lawsuit filed by 3 environmental groups in 2021 for violating the Clean Water Act. The groups claim the county illegally dumped 66 million gallons of raw sewage into the river in the last 5 years. As part of the settlement, the county will spend $1 million to fix problems at the water reclamation facility. The James River Association was one of the groups that sued the county. President and CEO Bill Street tells 8 News he hopes the county will avoid and identify problems more quickly in the future. I'm Richard Stelling.
Okay, thank you, Richard, for the information right there. You know, that's an interesting one. So all of a sudden you're doing something because there was you dumped some stuff inside of the river. That kind of makes it interesting on how that is set up. Anyways, a project underway could make easier for some people in Richmond to meet their health care needs. Take a listen.
A health hub is coming to Highland Park on the north side. Information was passed out last night at the future home of what will be called the 6 Points Community Hub. The facility will include a food pantry and a pharmacy. Hand Up CEO Augusta Height is helping make the hub a reality. She tells CBS 6, this area is a desert for a lot of things, and the amount of stress it can cause can be very difficult. I'm Richard Stelling.
Okay, thank you, Richard Stelling, for the information on that one as well. Let's take a look around real quick at some things that occurred back on this date, if you care to know about some of those. So if I take a look around and I go, let's go all the way back to 1969. Apollo 9 is launched from Kennedy Space Center. The mission was the first to feature a complete Apollo spacecraft, including the lunar module. The crew never left Earth's orbit, testing docking and undocking maneuvers essential to complete the moon landing mission. The crew safety splashed down on March the 13th. That happened back on this day in 1969. If you're looking at some birthdays for today, I'll give you some. Jason Tatum turns 25. Camila Cabello turns 26. Josh Duggar, 35. Jessica Biel turns 41 today. Ronan Keaton turns 46. Tone Loke turns 57. Herschel Walker turns 61. Julie Brown turns 53. How did 61 get jumped before 53? And George Miller turned 78 today. So there you go. That's some birthdays that are going on. If you're looking at some days of the year to celebrate, there are quite a few today. Overseas HNS Worker Day, National I Want You to Be Happy Day, World Wildlife Day, National Day of Unplugging, National Canadian Bacon Day, International Irish Whiskey Day, National Mulled Wine Day, National Employee Appreciation Day, National Dress in Blue Day, National Cold Cuts Day, National Salesperson Day, and What If Cats and Dogs had Opposable Thumbs Day, and National Anthem Day. Wow. There are some days for you to take a look at. There is no doubt about that. What else before we get you out of here? Let me take a look. Let's talk about, did you know TikTok is taking steps to curb the time for younger users as it stares down the growing scrutiny from regulators and lawmakers over the security and safety of children on the platform. The video sharing site implemented an automatic 60-minute screen time limit for all users under the age of 18. Once the 1 hour mark is reached, teens will be prompted to enter a code to continue using the app, requiring them to make an active decision to keep scrolling. The company said that a study last year found that 67% of American teenagers use TikTok, and with 16% saying that they used it constantly. Wow, harsh. What a shame that teens have no idea what to do when encountered with a pop-up, right? I mean, this sounds like something astronomical and different to do. That is for sure when you start thinking about it. What else do we got today? If you need a random joke for today, laughing at your mistakes can lengthen your life. Laughing at someone else's mistakes can shorten yours. Got it? Does that make sense? Okay, so there you go. There's that one. What else? If you need a phone starter for today, try this. If you could hack into one computer, which computer would you choose? And don't tell me the ones that hold people's credit reports, because that's not nice. That's not nice to say that out loud. Think it, but don't say it. Wait, no, I'm just joking as I say that. If you need something for the water cooler, try this. The average woman does this 150 times a year. The average man does it 10 times. What is it? Check their horoscope. Just saying. I'm just telling you what it says. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's right. I'm just saying that's the information that's there. So anyways, God willing, I will be back on Monday for us to do all the stuff that we get to do around here. We'll figure out how that's going to look in regards to the interaction of coming from New Mexico. Hopefully it will be something video and audio. But we'll see and take a look at what the hell is going on right there. Anyways, at the top of the hour, I will be going over to Radio Big if you want to come and hang out over there. Or you can stay on Safety FM and take a listen to Shelton Prime and Safety Consultant Show. That will be coming up. If I can leave you with a deep thought for today, I would love to leave you with this one. Now and then, it's good to pause in our pursuit of happiness and just be happy. Think about that. It's important. Anyways, I know who you are. No, seriously.
Duh.
You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye. And thank you for being the best part of Safety FM and Radio Big, and that is the listener. See you at the top, or I'll see you on Monday.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.